Welcome to our video on sales forecasting and quota setting. My name is Alexander Tate, and with me is
Mauro Caimi,
and we are going to be giving you a practical guide for new business-to-business sales managers on sales forecasting and quota setting. Here's what we hope you'll learn from watching our video. You'll understand the importance of forecasting and quotas for your own business. We'll introduce you to current methods and theories that are used in the industry, as well as the best practices as seen with real-life examples. Finally, at the end of the video, you will better understand your own forecasting and quota needs and how best to fulfill them. First off, what is forecasting? Forecasting is a prediction of future events for the sales of your company. Industry and company potentials need to be forecasted, as well as the realizable results that your company can achieve. Forecasts incorporate the expected capabilities and constraints over different time horizons so that you can plan better for the future of your company.
What are quotas? A quota is a quantitative goal assigned to an individual salesperson. Simple quotas are easy to explain to salespeople and easy for them to understand. They focus salespeople on all the activities that are important. If quotas are not completely accepted by salespeople, they might act as demotivators rather than motivators. And also, they must be regularly checked, and performance against quota must be discussed.
Forecasting is important because many functions of the business depend on these forecasts. Finance needs to know projected cash flows. Production needs to know its production schedule, and sales needs to derive quotas from these forecasts. Forecasting allows for realizable goals and growth expectations when planning for the long term. If forecasting is done incorrectly and the business has over-forecasted, it will experience reduced return on investment as higher inventory carry happens. They will also experience higher taxes and insurance costs, as well as spoilage or obsolescence costs. If under-forecasting happens, there is an opportunity cost of lost sales, as well as the lost customer loyalty as customers use competitors' products instead of our own.
Quotas are important because they motivate salespeople to achieve high performance. There are many psychological theories stating motivation is dependent on personal needs and expectations, and quotas help them fulfill these needs and expectations and achieve feelings of self-worth. Quotas are also important because they give direction so salespeople understand what is expected of them and how to proceed moving forward.
There are many forecasting methods used in the business-to-business framework today. They largely fall into two categories. Quantitative analysis, which is based on historical time series data and market research, and qualitative analysis, which is management's judgment call on the effects of future events. There are also other methods that don't quite fall into either category, such as test markets, leading indicators, and event planning. While we do not have enough time to explain each method thoroughly, we will illustrate a moving averages method. Sales in January and February are 160,000 and 210,000 respectively. This gives a 2-month average of 185,000 and would be the forecast for sales for March. Now once March actually happens and they achieve a sales of 230,000, the 2-month average moves to 220,000 for the next period. The time horizon used for number of months or number of sales periods can change based on the needs of the business, such that a 3-month average of 200,000 would be forecasted for April. We're now going to run you through some real-life examples. Colgate-Palmolive is a company that sells its consumer product through vendors. They use a collaborative customer expectations approach to forecast sales to these vendors. Business-critical data, such as prices, planned promotions, supply availability, and production schedules, are shared between junctions on the supply chain. This improves forecast accuracy, order fulfillment, replenishment cycle times, the relationships with customers and suppliers, and reduces the necessary inventory carry at each junction. We now move on to a much different scenario. SafeStart Training is a business that sells safety training programs to other businesses. The director of sales first recognizes that there's a long buying process in this industry. Businesses can take over 6 months to finalize the sale of the product. For this reason, SafeStart has developed multiple time horizons in their forecasts. In the short term, they use a simple account progression to see if an account will finalize a sale within the next 1 to 2 months. In the medium or long term, several different time series methods are used and adjusted for event planning, such as a trade show in which 200 new leads are expected to be generated.
There are 3 methods for setting quotas. Sales volumes quotas, which can be based on dollars or quantities. Profit-based quotas can be based on gross margin or margin contribution. And activity-based quotas are certain actions to be completed by salespeople. Best practices on quota setting strike balance between motivating sales team, controlling costs, and attracting or retaining talent. They preserve integrity of pay and productivity relationship, and also uphold consistent architecture for incentive plan over long term. Finally, they ensure simplicity. Quota management breaks into 3 areas: before, during, and after the quota is in effect. Certain actions that you can encourage to do before quotas are into effect could be to have a quota cushion or to have special performance incentives for field force. Examples of good quota practices that you can do during the quota comes into effect are to increase payout frequency or to eliminate or lower an achievable threshold. And after the quota comes into effect, some good practices would be to change metric weightings away from market sales or lower or raise quotas across the board.
The forecasting needs and methods change from business to business, and many factors influence which method is the most appropriate. These can be variables such as the customer buying process, the marketing strategy of that specific firm, the available data and resources that can be applied to sales forecasting, and the accuracy of each method as applied to that specific business. We must recognize that no one method is correct. Instead, several different methods between quantitative and qualitative should be used in conjunction to provide different scenarios and better accuracy. We must also adjust early when we can so that the impact of changed cash flows can be seen through different divisions and planned for accordingly.
For understanding quota management, it's good to remember that good quotas must be simple, accepted, complete, and managed. They balance cost, motivational ability, and talent retention. Also, they preserve integrity of pay and performance, and they must be actively managed before, during, and after the quotas are in effect. Overall, you should align these with the company's strategy.
For further research, we highly recommend the Sales Management in Canada textbook by H.F. Mackenzie. It further breaks down each specific forecasting and quota setting method and gives examples of when each would be appropriate. The Salesforce and Savo Group websites also give data on the importance of forecasting. Rick Spring, the VP of Sales at Electrolab, states that this report helped me realize the need to better understand the buying process of our customers and apply different forecasting techniques, which can help both our customers and ourselves as a business reach goals. It has motivated me to further research appropriate forecasting methods and how to apply them to our situation. Finally, we'd like to finish with the frequently asked questions. How can I forecast for a new product or line extension where no past sales data exists? Obviously, not many quantitative methods can be useful here. If similar products exist in an industry already, then that historical sales data can be used and adjusted for your own specific constraints and business strategy. As well, you can rely heavily on qualitative methods such as the jury of executive opinion. How will I know what forecast methods will give more accurate results? A simple way is to see what the forecast would have given you in the past, so that you can apply what the forecast would have said your sales should have been last month with what your actual sales were. Can quotas unduly reward salespeople when market conditions are more responsible for high sales? A way around this is to use more activity-based quotas that will reward the actual activity for selling rather than the market effect. As an active sales manager, you can also see when unproductive activities are being taken by your salespeople and address them as needed. We hope that you found this video helpful and that it has motivated you to further investigate sales forecasting and quota setting methods. Thank you.